Martha and I had the pleasure of working with Arthur in this session. We started off with Arthur's Soul piece, which I'm glad to say now is a name. Arthur's decided on Unwind in the Sunshine. It also has more of a structure as well, which is nice. In this piece, Arthur's using a beam with a sax sound on it in multi-mode. He also has 3 switches, some with sax samples, some with a backing track. He's using 1 sax sample, I think he's on switch 4, followed by the theme of the piece, which Arthur wrote, as I'm sure you know from another blog, and also has the backing track. What was interesting was we asked him how he'd like to start a piece, and he came up with the idea of starting with the 1 sax sample, then he times it just right to play the horns, which is the theme of the piece, and then he hits the backing track. Admittedly, his timing was a little bit off to start with, but he insisted himself on playing around with it for a bit and practicing until he got it right, which is really good to see. The piece then involves a little call and response between Martha and Arthur, and coming to a gradual ending. I myself just playing some rhythm in the background, just picking up occasionally here and there. I like the way Arthur was in control of the piece, nodding to Arthur or myself when he wanted us to start or stop. That's really good to see. He's got that down already. I'm really chuffed with how confident he is on the beam. You know, he's very, very musical, which is nice. You know, he's knowing where to stop and, you know, moving his hand around to different places. So that's really good to see as well. It's really good. He's progressing well. You know, I wonder whether it'd be, you know, well, it would be interesting anyway to see him on an iPad and see, you know, what he could do with that on the different applications there is available. So that's something to look at in future sessions. Arthur also decided that he'd like to try working on a new piece. He wanted to do something a bit jazzy, so we set up the That's Jazz sound sets for him to play with. Looking back at it now, I'm not quite sure that it was jazz in particular he wanted to do, or whether he actually meant up-tempo when he said jazzy. That's something we're going to have to clarify with Arthur anyway in the next session and find out, you know, what it is that he really liked to do with this piece. As it was, the Beam 1 was set up as a bass line in cyclic setting, which after a little experimentation, Arthur decided he didn't really like that, so we switched to Beam 2, which is on a multi-setting with an organ patch on that, which was going okay. I think Arthur felt he didn't have much control over the beam, so we took out some divisions, which notes really, so there was less notes in the scale. I think it came up to 3 octaves in the end, and that seemed to suit him a lot better. He was a lot happier with that, so that was good. The piece resulted in more of a jam than anything else, but I mean, it's something we got to work on. You know, it's early days yet. It's just the start of a new piece, so we'll see how that goes in future sessions. Overall, I'm really impressed with Arthur's musicality, which presents a challenge really, in a way, is how do we push him, how do we challenge him to go further? So that's something, you know, again, we'll have to look at and work on in future sessions. Perhaps songwriting would be a good way to go with Arthur, rather than writing a piece. Writing a song with lyrics, you know, and a proper melody and following a nice structure. That'd be interesting to see whether he'd go for that. So it's something we'll have to implement. But that's all I have to say today. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out our Facebook page, our YouTube page, our Twitter page, and of course the website, which is soundbeamdream.co.uk.